Welcome to my channel. Today, we're exploring Stellar Defiance, a sci-fi journey where humanity stands strong and defies the odds across the galaxy. Dive into epic starship battles, powerful tech, and the resilience that makes us unstoppable in a universe full of challenges. If you're ready for a thrill-packed adventure in deep space, hit subscribe, and let's get started. The battle for the brightest star had roots stretching back through generations, as legends of the star called Alaris spread through the cosmos. Alaris was not just the brightest star in the galaxy, but also the most mysterious, known to emit powerful energy signatures that seemed to ripple across space. Some called it a living star, a place where matter and energy intermingled in ways that defied physics, where time was rumored to flow differently, and where the very fabric of reality appeared to bend. It was said that anyone who could harness Alaris would gain control over power so vast it bordered on the divine. Alaris became a symbol, a shining emblem of the ultimate conquest, a single point in the galaxy that could change the fate of empires. For humanity, the allure of Alaris was both practical and philosophical. The Terran Federation, a union of Earth and her far-flung colonies, was expanding rapidly, its population growing beyond the reach of traditional energy sources. Alaris offered the potential for infinite power, something that could sustain colonies for millennia. But for humanity, Alaris also represented the spirit of exploration and the will to overcome the unknown. The Federation had pushed the boundaries of known space, its people believing that they could shape the universe in their image. Alaris was the ultimate prize, a conquest that would etch humanity's name into the stars forever. The Federation selected Captain Astra Callahan to lead the mission to claim Alaris. Astra was a veteran of the Expansion Wars, where she had led her fleet to numerous victories against rogue factions and independent colonizers. Known for her unyielding determination, Astra was a tactical genius who viewed Alaris not only as a scientific treasure, but also as a potential cornerstone of humanity's legacy. Her crew was fiercely loyal, a collection of individuals chosen as much for their brilliance as for their ability to withstand the pressures of deep space travel. Among them were engineers, soldiers, and scientists, all dedicated to the success of Project Aegis, the mission that would bring them to Alaris. The Odyssey, Astra's flagship, was a marvel of human engineering. Its hull was reinforced with layers of alloys designed to withstand the powerful radiation fields around Alaris. Advanced propulsion systems allowed it to navigate complex gravitational zones, and its array of weaponry made it a force to be reckoned with. Astra was confident, but she knew that this journey would test them in ways they could not yet imagine. The journey to Alaris was long and dangerous, passing through asteroid belts, radiation storms, and gravitational anomalies. As they approached the star, Astra briefed her crew on the challenges they would face. Alaris is more than a star, she told them. It's a symbol, a source of power that could reshape the galaxy, but it's also a test of our resolve, of our unity. Unknown to Astra, another faction had also set its sights on Alaris. The Archon Empire, a technologically advanced civilization that spanned hundreds of worlds, had been monitoring Alaris for centuries. The Archons were highly evolved beings with an aristocratic culture that viewed conquest as a duty, believing that their mastery over technology granted them the right to rule. Their society was structured around an elaborate hierarchy, with a ruling class that maintained strict control over knowledge and resources. For the Archons, Alaris represented not only a resource but a legacy, a prize that would solidify their place as the galaxy's rightful rulers. Leading the Archon fleet was High Commander Exilar, a strategic genius and a visionary who believed that Alaris would bring prosperity to his people. Xyler had studied the star's energy patterns for years, calculating that Alaris's output could power entire sectors and unlock advancements that would propel the Empire into a new golden age. To Exelar, Alaris was a key to immortality, a way to sustain his civilization for eternity. He was known among his people as the Iron Hand for his resolute nature, yet those who knew him best saw a man of great complexity, one who balanced ambition with a sense of duty to the Archon Empire's future. The Terran and Archon fleets arrived at Alaris within weeks of each other, and tension filled the space around the star. Both factions had set up preliminary bases on opposite sides of Alaris, each trying to establish a foothold while keeping a watchful eye on the other. Astra and Xylar communicated only through guarded transmissions, exchanging formal greetings and thinly veiled threats. The Archon's ships, sleek and dark, contrasted with the rugged utilitarian design of the Terran vessels. The two fleets watched each other in silence, each side waiting for the other to make the first move. In the opening skirmishes, the Terrans and Archons tested each other's resolve. Astra used her fleet's maneuverability to her advantage, outflanking Archon fighters and launching surprise attacks. Xylar, meanwhile, relied on his fleet's superior shielding and weaponry, countering Astra's tactics with precision strikes. The initial battles were intense, each side suffering losses, but neither willing to concede. Alaris's radiation and gravitational fields complicated the fighting, disrupting sensors and making it difficult to maintain formation. The crews on both sides fought with unwavering focus, knowing that every decision, every movement, could be the difference between life and death. As the battles continued, both Astra and Exelar found themselves facing the limits of their respective fleets. The star's immense energy had unpredictable effects on their ships, causing equipment malfunctions and strange phenomena that neither side fully understood. The closer they got to Alaris, the more unstable the environment became. At one point, an Archon cruiser was caught in a burst of energy from the star. Its systems overloaded as it spun out of control and disintegrated in a brilliant flash. Moments like these reminded both sides that Alaris was not just a prize. It was a force to be reckoned with, a power that defied comprehension. Astra's tactical brilliance and Exelar's technological advantage led to a series of stalemates, each side taking heavy losses, but unable to gain a decisive upper hand. The Terran and Archon fleets grew wary, each side recognizing that the other was a formidable opponent. In quiet moments, Astra found herself wondering about Xylar, about the person behind the title of High Commander. She respected his strategic mind and his ability to adapt, even as she knew that he was her enemy. Likewise, Xylar found himself contemplating Astra, admiring her audacity and the ingenuity of the Terrans. In some unspoken way, they were equals, bound by the same fierce loyalty to their people and the same drive to secure Alaris. Then, a new force entered the conflict, a species known as the Xira Collective. The Xira were an ancient civilization, reclusive and enigmatic, believed to be the oldest beings in the galaxy. Their ships were organic, living vessels that pulsed with energy, and they possessed knowledge of the cosmos that surpassed anything humanity or the Archons could comprehend. The Xira had once inhabited the region surrounding Alaris, and they considered the star sacred, a relic of their heritage. For the Xira, Alaris was more than a source of energy. It was a symbol of life and unity, a beacon that connected them to the cosmic forces they revered. When the Xira detected the conflict around Alaris, they saw it as an invasion, a desecration of something they held sacred. The Xira ships appeared out of nowhere, their surfaces shifting and glowing with patterns that seemed almost hypnotic. They moved with a fluid grace, navigating the chaotic energy around Alaris, as if it were an extension of themselves. Their arrival shocked both the Terrans and Archons, who were unprepared for the arrival of such a powerful and mysterious faction. The Xira's intentions were made clear through their actions. They attacked both the Terran and Archon fleets with precise strikes, disabling weapon systems and immobilizing ships. The Zira did not communicate in words. Instead, they sent pulses of energy that conveyed emotions, anger, sorrow, and a warning to leave Alares. Their ships emitted waves of energy that disrupted both fleets, forcing Astra and Exiler to withdraw to the far side of the star. Realizing that they could not defeat the Zira alone, Astra and Exiler reached out to each other, proposing a temporary alliance. They had no choice. Their survival depended on cooperation. Reluctantly, they met face to face on neutral ground, each surrounded by a small escort of trusted advisors and guards. It was the first time they had seen each other in person, and both leaders felt a mixture of respect and wariness. Astra and Exiler discussed their strategy, each contributing insights based on their respective technologies and experiences. They pooled their knowledge, working together to develop a method of communication with the Zira. Dr. Kalen Voss, a linguist from the Terran side, and Savara, an Archon diplomat skilled in xenocommunication, collaborated on deciphering the Zira's language of light and sound. It was a slow and difficult process, as the Zira's way of thinking was vastly different from anything they had encountered. Through their efforts, they finally succeeded in establishing a dialogue. The Zira expressed their belief that Alaris was a living entity, a star that held the memories of countless civilizations. They saw themselves as guardians, entrusted with preserving the star's energy as a cosmic link connecting life across the galaxy. To them, the Terran and Archon attempts to claim Alaris were a violation of this unity, an act of hubris that ignored the interconnectedness of all life. The Zira's message struck a chord with Astra and Exiler, challenging their perceptions and forcing them to confront the implications of their actions. Astra, who had always viewed Alaris as a resource to be harnessed, felt a pang of doubt. She had come to see the star as humanity's salvation, a key to securing their future, but she had not considered the cost. Siler, too, was shaken. His people's philosophy of superiority and conquest seemed shallow in the face of the Zira's ancient wisdom. For the first time, both leaders began to question whether their pursuit of Alaris was worth the potential destruction it might bring. With the Zira's guidance, Astra and Siler learned to see Alaris in a new light. The star was more than a source of power. It was a bridge between worlds, a point where matter, energy, and consciousness intertwined. The Zira showed them visions, memories of civilizations that had once flourished around Alaris, each one contributing to a cosmic legacy that spanned epochs. These visions revealed a galaxy in which life was interconnected, where each species, each world, was part of a larger whole. Moved by this revelation, Astra and Exiler made a fateful decision. They would end the conflict, renouncing their claim to Alaris and honoring the Zira's role as guardians. They returned to their fleets, explaining the Zira's message and the wisdom they had gained. It was a difficult choice. Many in their fleet saw it as a betrayal, a surrender. But Astra and Exiler stood firm, united by their newfound understanding. In a final act of unity, the Terrans and Archons collaborated to create a protective field around Alaris, using their combined technology to safeguard the star from future incursions. Together, they created a sanctuary, a place where Alaris could continue to shine, untouched and preserved as a symbol of peace and respect for the mysteries of the universe. The two fleets departed Alaris, leaving behind a legacy of cooperation and understanding. The Terran and Archon leaders returned to their respective worlds, changed by their experience. They carried with them the knowledge that there were forces in the galaxy beyond conquest, beyond power, a reminder that the true strength of a civilization lay not in its ability to conquer, but in its willingness to learn, to respect, and to honor the connections that bound all life. The battle for the brightest star had ended, not with victory or defeat, but with enlightenment. a legacy that would inspire future generations to look to the stars with humility and wonder. Alaris continued to shine, a beacon of unity in the vastness of space, a reminder of the wisdom that could be found when worlds came together in peace.